doing a live Q&A and a ask me anything about movies, where anything movie related you guys can ask me about. As soon as we get some people in the chat, we will start. So I'll be going over things like monologues at the moment, just stalling until we get some people in here that can ask me questions. But that's basically what I have to do every time. I have to usually, for the beginning, I usually have to start stalling because usually I don't get people in here. Oh, no, hold on. Sorry, if you just heard me again repeating something, that wasn't me. That was past me. I'm using something to read the questions. So as soon as we get some people in here, we will start this thing. Whew. Hopefully, we'll get some people in here soon. So, and if you are in here and you're just typing a question, please take a tiny little break or not. I'm not complaining either way. To hit that like button, it really helps out. Hitting that like button. You guys have no idea how much it just really makes me feel good when people click like on my videos, meaning that they really do like them. So make sure to hit that like button and. Hopefully we will get some people in here soon. So I will be future, if you guys are watching this on replay, future thing coming up, I will be posting my ranking of every single X-Men movie ranked, yes, including the Deadpool movies. I watched the first one partially with my dad. There was a uh tiny mistake, uh a tiny little mistake going on with a certain scene in Deadpool that I accidentally saw. That kind it's Deadpool. If you see it, you know exactly probably what I mean. It was bad. The second film I already saw, so I will be ranking them. If you are on Letterboxd, you should know what I'm saying. DJ Dick says hi. Good to see you. And Film Kid says, dang it, Ledger, you caught me editing Rocky and Creed ranking. Sorry. Didn't mean to. Hopefully you can take a break in between, or just drop some questions in here and then watch it on replay, because if the DJ has something to do, it looks like I'm gonna be it looks like I'm just gonna be monologuing to air for a long time. But anyway, my ranking of every X-Men movie will be coming on, and there's some opinions that could get me in a bit of trouble. In particular, one, I'm gonna say this: my bottom ones have changed drastically. The New Mutants is still in last place. I will probably never have that thing above 13 or 14 or 18 or however many films X-Men decides to put out. The New Mutants will most likely stay my least favorite. But I can tell you some of the other ones, you guys will be quite surprised at what's in my bottom ones. Well, I mean, it's basically the same thing, just in different orders. So you guys, if you watched it, uh, if you guys watched it, then you may notice a bit of differences. Fungus says, it is fine, and did Deadpool 2 have any nudity? The first one has both men and women nudity. I learned the women part the hard way. And there's men's nudity in the second. When Deadpool gets his thing ripped in half, and he that's a really funny scene where he's like regrowing it, and there's like a tiny little frontal scene that lasts for about like a second long. So if there's nothing appropriate for women in there. Not I watched the super duper cut, which is the unrated cut, which is uh has a really funny joke involving Deadpool killing Hitler when he was a baby, while trying to in a post credit scene. So it's dark, but it's also really funny. So there's no women's nudity in the second, as far as I know. So it's mostly just very vulgar references. The original is very vulgar. The second one is also pretty darn vulgar as well in terms of what they say. They really know what they're saying. So the first one was the only one you would really need to be aware of right now, Film Kid. Okay. But I did really enjoy the second one. I watched it this morning and I laughed my butt off. In particular, the scene involving Deadpool having to go and fix the timelines. Believe me, I like X-Men Origins Wolverine. But even I know what they did to Deadpool in that, I hate. I absolutely hate what they do to Deadpool in that. I despise it. So getting to see Deadpool literally making fun of it by going back to the past and having having him kill his past self is hilarious. And then having Deadpool kill Ryan Reynolds when he's accepting the Green Lantern script is also hilarious. We are so lucky that Ryan Reynolds is somebody that loves to make fun of himself. We are so lucky. I'm gonna try and see the third one in theaters. I think my dad loves the original. He also really enjoys the second, so I may get to see the third one in theaters. So, whew. I mean, I believe it comes out in the summer, so that's also a thing. So, Film Kid, I have to watch the OG with my dad, but luckily he loves it. Who doesn't? That is such a fun movie. Quick little, I will be right back, guys. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. But anyway, that's a great movie, Deadpool, and is absolutely hilarious. I think the original one is probably funnier for me, but I think both ones are very funny. The second one has my favorite moment and has the biggest laugh, and that's when he's fixing the timeline because it just goes so ultra meta with what it does. It is so meta with how he's like killing Ryan Reynolds in the when he's like killing Ryan Reynolds that's accepting the Green Lantern script, killing X-Men Orchard's Wolverine self. DJ Dix, did you watch my top 20 Christmas movies yet? I believe I did. So, yeah, I know It's a Wonderful Life is your favorite. Die Hard's obviously my favorite. I adore that movie. And for those of you who are angry right now, Die Hard is a Christmas movie. That shouldn't even be a debate. It's literally a film whose plot relies on Christmas, where John McClane is coming to LA? Yeah, I think it's LA. I should know by now. I've seen it a lot of times. Uh, uh, sorry, blanking out. Because John McClane and goes to LA because he wants to be with his family for Christmas. So saying it's not a Christmas film is just stupid because it is literally relying on Christmas just for its plot. And they have Christmas carols throughout the entire film, and they have Merry Christmas said several times. So, Film Kid, he got to see 2 in theaters, and I miss and I miss get watch the first. And I miss get watch the first today, and might go see 3 in theaters. Yeah, I'll try and see 3 in theaters. I hope so. DJ Dix, I'm not going to say Die Hard is not a Christmas movie. I like Batman Returns and Edward Scissorhands. I've seen Batman Returns, not seen Edward Scissorhands. I've gotten a lot of flack for that one. Film Kid, I have to go under anesthesia today, but I am fine now. Oh yeah, I think that's like a sickness type thing. Wait, anesthesia. Can somebody remind me what that is? Not, I am very stupid. I get it. And Film Kid, I really hope you can see Deadpool today because I'm posting my ranking of all the movies tomorrow, and the intro is going to be very much a parody of something in Deadpool, which if you've seen Deadpool and you watch my thing, you will very much think it's extremely funny because it's basically me parodying the film and basically just absolutely roasting myself. PJ Dex, my top 20 favorite Christmas movies had Feliz Navidad. Oh yeah, I love that. I love that song. Or as a lot of people like to say it, if you're a pet owner, a lot of people like to say Feliz on the dog. Fleas on the dog, I mean. Like, because Feliz Navidad, fleas on the dog. Complicated, I guess. But that is pretty funny. Okay. But Deadpool 3 is definitely my most anticipated movie of the year. Who cares about something? Wait, no. I can't say that because Beyond the Spider-Verse was delayed, I believe, till 2025. I think it's if anyone knows in the comments section, please comment. Is Across the Spider-Verse coming out in 2024 or 2025? Because I out of spite because of how much people are just nice to both Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse, I don't even know if I would put Beyond the Spider-Verse in my top 10 most anticipated, which a lot of people would still give me flack for. And the more it's like a film where the more I hear people talking about it, just the more I dislike it. I still would give the film a pass. I gave it a 4-star review. The fact is, it just gets so infuriating when people say it's like the greatest film of all time and say it's like a perfect thing. I know people are already going to say as soon as Beyond the Spider-Verse comes out, whether that film botches it or not, whether it is a terrible film, people are still going to say that it is the greatest. It's going to be the greatest trilogy of all time, and which just infuriates me. DJ Dix. Last year, I did my list of my top 10 favorite Christmas movies, but I updated it to my top 20 this year. That's a great. Yeah, I've been wanting to do some more updates on some things. Like, I need to get top 10 worst sequels out because, uh, 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 sorry. Uh, because there's a lot of films I had seen that I would say are worse sequels, like Transformers: The Last Night was up there. Hocus Pocus 2 was there, but I hadn't seen Son of the Mask. I hadn't seen what is it? There's a lot of really bad films that are even worse. That I will say I need to put in that list. So, Home Kid, it puts you to sleep because you have to do surgery. They stocked a camera down your throat, but I didn't feel anything. Ugh. Yeah, I'm having surgery in a few days. I have to get cut open to do it. It's around my mouth. I'm having my wisdom teeth removed. It's gonna be very. Ugh. Luckily, I'll be knocked out during it. They're gonna drug me to where I can't feel anything. So, I think my parents are gonna bribe me by. I've been wanting to see Predator 2 recently, so most likely my dad'll. He does hate that film. He does hate Predator 2, but I think he's gonna watch it with me. He's gonna have to stomach it through. I mean, I was gonna say, well, at least Dad. On the bright side, it's the shortest film in the Predator franchise. I then checked on it and saying that if he ever starts groaning, I can say that. It turns out Predator 2 is actually the longest film in the entire Predator franchise, which is a real big shame, which is not a good thing. I mean, I think it's the longest. It's between that one and the original. I can't remember. I know it's definitely the second longest because I know it's longer than Prey. I know it's longer than both AVP movies. I know it's better than Predators. But as soon as I can say that, whether I like Predator 2 or not, I can probably say I consider Predator a very guilty pleasure franchise. I enjoy Alien vs. Predator. I enjoy Predators. I absolutely despise Alien vs. Predator Requiem. I am not a very big fan of the Predator. And the Predator is in my top, like, I think it's in my top 3 right now of all time. Like, you got, what is it, Prey, which is a fantastic prequel. It's probably my favorite prequel of all time, although there's not too many I can choose from there, but okay, but besides the point, you, uh, excited, I think you mean, for my video. Yes, very much. I love the Rocky and Creed franchise. That is still one of my favorite franchises of all time, and it's good to see your take on it. Even if you are probably going to be putting Creed 3 over Rocky 2, which I strongly disagree upon. I enjoy Creed 3, but even I can say I love that original run of Rocky films. Aside from Rocky 5, which I think is good, but if you compare it to the other films, it's nowhere near as good. Not even close. DJ Dix, uh, did you see my polls of asking what's your favorite alternative or unofficial Christmas movies? I may have. I cannot remember. I would definitely say I consider Die Hard an official Christmas movie, so I would like go Batman Returns maybe or Shazam. I mean, I would consider both of those Christmas movies, but they are. Uh, I mean, I would say that if I would say they are Christmas movies, Batman Returns and Shazam, but if someone says they're not, I won't argue, but I would say they are very holiday-like, so Shazam is definitely one that I would consider a Christmas movie. I really enjoy Shazam. I really should have put that one and Batman Returns on there. Whew. I also need to get Edward Scissorhands done as well, but I'm now trying to binge through a lot more Christmas movies right now. I'm going to try and see The Holdovers tomorrow because it comes on to Peacock tomorrow. And I'm going to do a big ranking of all the 2023 movies I saw. And then as soon as 2024 comes around, I can safely just like start going like, oh, no more binging these movies of 2023. I can now just watch films from the past, like Moonraker I've been needing to get done, of Bond. So there's several I've been needing to get done that I've had to put on hold. Avatar I started watching. I owe it to someone that really has been wanting me to watch it. It's fine so far. It's overrated, I can tell you. There's no way you can be like T2 level or Aliens. Or Terminator. You are talking about literally some of the greatest films of all time. You're comparing it against Avatar, which is one of the most generic and overused and uninteresting plot lines of all time. So the only reason that the Avatar movies make the amount of money they do is because of the effects. Nobody comes to Avatar for like story or anything. Why? Because the story is absolutely terrible in most of them. They are such base level stories where it's just so annoying that they couldn't think of a better one. DJ Dix, if anyone ever said Die Hard is not a Christmas movie, I would disagree on that, but it's not a Christmas movie like Home Alone, The Polar Express, or It's a Wonderful Life. I mean, it's not as very much family, so I mean, I can agree partially to that. I would consider it. I would say, if I could only keep one Christmas movie, I would probably have to keep Die Hard. I just love it that much. I also got to see Die Hard in theaters, so and that plays a key role. And I nearly saw It's a Wonderful Life in theaters. I just really wanted to see another re-release in theaters. Also because I have a list on Letterboxd of movies I've seen on a re-release in theaters, and I do not want Die Hard to be lonely in there, so I need to see another one that's re-released. So I'm working on getting all my favorite movies of all time in that thing. So I need to get things like Rocky done, Predator, Raiders of the Lost Ark, The Last Crusade, Star Wars. What are some other ones? First Blood, did I mention? Aliens. A lot of films, sadly, a lot of the films in my top 10 of all time, The Terminator, are rated R. And even my theater, I have to be 16 just to see a PG-13 in theaters, which is extremely stupid. It's literally in the name, PG-13. Make it PG-16 if it's going to mean that you can't see it in theaters. So stupid. But 2024 is going to be like the year where I'm going to try and see a lot of movies in theaters. Godzilla X Kong, I'm going to try and see in theaters. What are the other ones? I need to see Ghostbusters Afterlife in theaters. I got some Christmas money, so I spent it on things like I got True Lies on a digital thing. I got a digital pack of True Lies. I got it of the Ghostbusters 1, 2, and Afterlife in a pack. I got every Rocky movie, including Rocky 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and Rocky Balboa, and all the Creed films, including Creed 2. I already had Creed 3 purchased, but I decided just to get the pack because it was cheaper, and I got A Few Good Men. Some of my favorites of all time in that list right there. I'm going to try and get Predator, the franchise in there as well. I will even get the AVP Requiem, mostly because it's much cheaper to get both films than to purchase just AVP because it's $19 and I can get both films for just $9. And it's like, hey, I'm not complaining. It's an extra movie. Even if that movie is so terrible, I would probably rather die than have to watch it again. DJ Dix, why do you have to be 16 to go see PG-13 movies alone? I have no idea why. It says apparently the age limit. I mean, apparently you're to purchase to go into a movie theater that is PG-13, you have to be at least 16, and that is such a dumb rule. I have no idea why. No clue. It's so dumb. But I will definitely say there's some great movies I need to see in theaters. Like I'm gonna see the Garfield movie in theaters. I know that because I grew up with Garfield. I'm gonna try and see with a friend that also really enjoys Garfield. So most likely Garfield is a probably most definitely I'll see in theaters. Deadpool 3 is a most likely that I'm gonna try and see with my dad because I know he really enjoys Deadpool 1 and 2. He hasn't seen Logan. I know he's seen X-Men Origins Wolverine. I know he's seen The Wolverine. He's seen X-Men. I think he's also seen X2. I don't know if he saw The Last Stand. So the only ones I know he's seen is X-Men, X-Men Origins Wolverine, and The Wolverine. He probably did see X2, and he's seen Deadpool 1 and 2. Apparently, he told me yesterday that apparently he saw it on a plane, and people were commenting. He saw Deadpool on a plane, like right after it came out, and apparently people were commenting on how much he was laughing. I mean, I mean, DJ Dix, may I ask what town do you live in? I will not answer that question. I think that's a bit of a personal one. I do not answer that question mostly because I don't like want to give that away where people could do it in public. I mean, I'm sorry, but it's just I am very careful with that type of stuff. So, So apparently okay. Let's see who we have in the chat. I'm gonna try and put a thing. And luckily, I mean, I also use something to make some Wolverine claws that are pretty cool looking. If you take a look at them, which I can show you guys because I don't show my face, so it's at least looks really cool seeing these three claws. They look awesome. But I hopefully 2024 can bring me some more theater experiences. I don't usually get to go to the theater. Just they're usually too expensive. I was lucky to see Die Hard in theaters, but I will definitely say I loved it. The only problem is it feels kind of disappointing when you watch it on a little screen after seeing it on such a big screen. I was loved it so much afterwards. I wanted to start clapping. I just thought it might be rude if I, even though the movie was over, I thought it would be rude to start clapping. DJ Dix. The reason why I asked is because of the rule of the theaters in your town have the rule. That's the only reason why I asked. Sorry, it's not. It's no problem, man. It's fine. Quick little water break. Okay. Always stay healthy, kids, with water. That's what I would always say. Always hydrate. At least do it in the afternoon, not in the morning. When you drink water in the morning, ugh, it tastes terrible. I have no idea why. It's just it feels like your taste buds don't like get used to it yet. It seems like around the afternoons where like you cannot stop drinking it, and that is I water is probably my favorite drink of all time. It's up the yeah, it's probably my favorite drink. It's just the one that you can do with pretty much anything. There's certain ones like ice cream you cannot do it with because afterwards it just gives a weird like after you have ice cream and then you have like water it feels kind of weird. I had ice cream today, but I never tried water with it. But I know it tastes weird. We got Dimension Scott in the house. Hey, what's up? Good. Not much. Just talking about things like some of my most anticipated 2024 things. Talking about wanting to see Deadpool 3 in theaters since I just saw 1 and 2. And in case you're wondering, you're 14 years old. You shouldn't see that. I watched the original one. My dad told me to call me in. He gave me a specific scene to tell me where to. That was before a really inappropriate scene. So one scene we dodged. The next we weren't so lucky. He didn't come in, but there was a scene that came out of nowhere. It was pretty. It was pretty bad. So it let's just say I. Let's just say we got a bit of an experience there. I then called my dad and had to like fast forward through it myself. Uh, that was pretty funny. Oppenheimer and Deadpool really are trying to traumatize me. It's so funny. Another quick little water break. And to mention Scott, by the way, watched your ranking yesterday on the Batman movies, and I can definitely say when you said Batman and Robin was a classic, that hurts. That really does hurt. I mean, I love Arnold. I think he's the best part about that movie. But, ay, ay, ay. That film is unbelievably unfunny. It is so painful. Like, Batman Forever is, like, just that mix where I can, like, really have fun with it. That's one that's probably the most rewatchable of any of the films. I really do have fun with Batman Forever. You have a lot of fun with Batman and Robin and say it's, like, really entertaining. That's basically what I would think of Batman Forever. Underrated and really fun. Batman Returns is probably my favorite, mostly because it just has like a darker tone and like has some of the best villains there with like Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman, but it also has Danny DeVito's Penguin, who's very weird and kind of gross and but he's still pretty fun at times. So I do have fun with the movie, even if some. I do have fun with Batman Forever, even if things like Tommy Lee Jones. Let's just say he's not the best. And Ventura. This is basically Ace Ventura 3 for Jim Carrey, uh, which is actually rumored to be in post production, the third Ace Ventura. Well, technically it would be the fourth because there was a one called Ace Ventura Jr. But like everyone, they're probably going to be ignoring that sequel and disowning it. Which I haven't seen it. I've seen clips of it. I can tell you it deserves to be disowned. It looks terrible. But I need to see that one. I love the original one. I won't say I loved it. I really enjoyed the sequel. And I hear the third one is absolutely terrible and absolute garbage. But most comedy sequels are. Like you got Dumb and Dumber 2, you got Grown Ups 2, you got Son of the Mask, you have Ace Ventura Jr. Pet Detective, I mean, you got Zoolander 2. You have so many sequels to really good comedies that just go so much from a great film. And then they have such a dramatic dip in quality. I have no idea how you do it. Although a lot of the time, it's what comedy sequels still to this day are so stupid at doing is that they keep recasting the actors that are so great in it. Like, it feels like they're intentionally trying to make a bad movie because there's no way that that people have been doing this for so many years. Uh, and they don't learn their lesson. Like the fact that they replaced Jim Carrey as the Mask in that was terrible. I believe actually I don't know, they didn't really replace him. They had to. I mean they did replace him, but they had to because Jim Carrey turned down a lot of money to do it, and that's a good thing. And boy, that film is terrible. Son of the Mask is. DJ, I'll just call you DJ right now. DJ, I used to like Batman Returns more than the first one, but as of now, I like the first one more because the second one focuses too much on the Penguin and Catwoman more than Batman himself. Yeah, the same thing with Batman '89. Is not really introduced until like 30 minutes in, and then after that, he's relegated to more. I think that it's really odd that what is it? I have no idea why people hold what is his name, Michael Keaton's Batman in such high regards when he's barely in his own Batman films. If you take a look at his films, they are absolute that like he is not in much. Like Batman Returns, he's barely in it, and Batman '89, he's also barely in it. He's relegated to mostly cameos in his own movie. Like he's all like it feels like Tim Burton's more fascinated with the villains of the story than Batman himself, and which is why it feels like the main characters of the it feels like the main characters of the films are always the villains. That's one of the things I enjoyed about Batman Forever is that it focuses more on Batman than the villains. Although they do still have a decent amount of screen time as well, but I'm trying to think. I was gonna say that. I'm trying to think. And also one thing that's really funny is that if you take a look, I believe in the opening credits of Batman '89, it'll they'll list the names in the order based on how much screen time they had or like how important to the plot they were. And the funny thing is, in the original one, it says the first actor that comes up is not Michael Keaton, even though he's literally the star of the film. It goes to Jack Nicholson. Why? Because he plays more of an important role and he has more screen time than Batman himself. And then it shows Michael Keaton, which I've always found to be absolutely hilarious. So, Dimension Scott, I agree with Son of the Mask. Most people will. It's an absolute disgrace to humanity. And it does not deserve to be on this planet. Nothing I there are no words to describe how terrible that film is. And that is probably the most painfully unfunny film I've ever seen. Where it feels like they throw so many jokes at there and not a single one lands. It feels like every single one I just get angrier and angrier and angrier and angrier until I'm just like, oh, end this film already. And that dance number that they do as soon as he gets the mask on for the first time, I absolutely hate it. I think everything about that film is absolute garbage. It is a train wreck from start to finish. And I'm telling you, that has possibly the worst CGI I have seen in a film ever. Like the CGI they use in the film is laughably bad. And it's almost like they were. I have no idea if they were going for that, but it looks so bad, especially when they use it on the baby, making a CGI baby. It's so terrible the way they do it. It's like it makes my eyes hurt just thinking about it because I'm now picturing it in my head. And the mask CGI is not good either. Everything CGI and computer and digital about that is terrible. Everything. DJ, the first one focused on Batman in more than the second one did though. The first one just had the Joker. It just has a villain. Yeah, I felt like the first one probably sorry focuses on Batman more than the second one. The second one is basically just a Catwoman. It should not be called Batman Returns. It's called Catwoman and Penguin. Oh yeah, and guest star Batman. Yeah. Yeah, that would actually be really funny if they did that. That would be so funny. But I think Tim Burton was going to be making a Catwoman movie, and that fell through the roof, and we got whatever that thing was, that Catwoman movie, whatever that weird abomination was. I mean, I could tell you people didn't like it. I could tell you, Catwoman is still regarded as one of the worst comic book movies of all time. I don't think we all know why. It's so bad. I haven't seen it. I know it has a terrible reputation. Its reputation, if it's as bad as its reputation, then because most films, every time I find a film that is this terribly received and their reputation is this bad, and I check it out, there has never been a time that I have been like, that film was great. Not a single film, because there's so, especially if it's like that low on IMDb, because even something like Rambo Last Blood, which is very hated, that is different. Why? Because Rambo Last Blood is a great film. And if you also take a look at IMDb, it's given a 6, so it's not really received that terribly. I mean, Rambo 3 is the worst by Rambo 3 was received the worst by IMDb. It's at like a 5.8 or something. I have no idea why. I've always found Rambo 3 way better than Rambo First Blood Part 2. It just feels like it's more character driven than Part 2. So, Drew's here and says, "Hey everyone, what's up? Good to see you, man. Not much. Just chatting about like things like Batman, all that stuff, and love your Logan." Love your Logan type poster after seeing Logan, the movie recently. So I really enjoy that for the first time. I never had seen Logan before. DJ, Catwoman is worse than Batman and Robin. That's also something I heard about. Even I know I'm not gonna like Catwoman. I know I'm probably gonna like Batman and Robin more than Catwoman, because Catwoman, that is possibly the most stupid plot I've ever heard of. And this is coming from a guy who's heard a lot of stupid plots. Drew, good news. I published my personal favorite movies of 2023 last night. I saw that. Glad to see that John Wick 4 was above, what is it? What's his face? Across the Spider-Verse. Across the Spider-Verse, overrated. I'm going to say that till the day I die, which, if I keep saying that in public, I'm probably going to die soon. That's likely to happen. Drew, Batman, thank you. I can definitely tell you that's probably the criticism I get the most. Why do you think Across the Spider-Verse is so overrated? Because people call it like a 10 out of 10 one of the greatest films of all time. It's not even in the top 100 greatest films of all time. That's the thing. That's something that's really going to get people angry about that. It's not even in the top 100. And if people say something like, "Oh yeah, well then how come you have something like First Blood in your top 100?" Because First Blood is in my top 5. Why? Because First Blood's a way better made film. It's definitely a film that I would rewatch more. It's a film that has better acting performances. It's a film that people don't like try and overrate as much as Across the Spider-Verse. There's many reasons why First Blood is better than Across the Spider-Verse. And it's a film that I just get soured on every time I think about it, which is why I don't think about it. Because I do like the film. It's just I hate people and just saying that it's like the greatest comic book film of all time, which it's not. Probably not even in the top half. I'm so just angry about it. I'm debating, if I ever do a comic book tier list, I'm debating to put Batman Forever above it, which will get me in a lot of trouble if I do that. I guarantee you. Drew, Catwoman 2004 is the worst comic book movie ever made. I saw your short on that. I was like accurate. I haven't seen the film, but even I know it's supposed to be one of the worst. There's a reason I've stayed away from that film. I have never wanted to watch it, but I'm gonna have to watch it soon. I have a what is it? I have a movie channel where I'm dedicated to where I have to watch movies, meaning I have to watch such terrible films. Like this year alone, my bottom 4 were absolute train wreck. Actually, no, bottom 5. Like I had several terrible movies. I had No One Will Save You Now. No One Will Save You. I hated that film. I had what is it? Which a buddy of mine, Nick, also really enjoyed. I have no idea why. I hated it, which is a terrible film. You had that in number 5 as my 5th least favorite. You had, I think it was FNAF at number. Actually, no, I think FNAF might have been at my number 5. Yeah, I think FNAF is probably better than No One Will Save You, but I can definitely say they are both F. If I would give him if I was giving him a grade, which I have on Letterboxd, I'd do that type thing. I'd give him Rotten Tomatoes entertainment scale and grade. I think both an F. I think FNAF is at number 5. At number 4 is No One Will Save You. And then you get the bottom 3, which are So terrible. You then at number 3, then you had Hypnotic, which was awful, which was such a disappointment. It looked like it was going to be a generic film, but I at least thought it was going to be fun. But it is so confusing and it is so anticlimactic. I hated it. And then the bottom two are unbelievably trash and unwatchably bad films. You had two, The Black Demon, which, oh my lord, it was awful. I I hated that film. I I hated it. And then at number 1, the worst film of 2023, I think we all knew what this was going to be. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. No excuses. No excuses for making this type of film and making it so terrible. I am so angry about the fact they're making a sequel, and I'm so angry about the fact that I'm going to need to see that sequel. And I can tell you, even if that film is great, I'm still gonna dig into it for bastardizing such a beloved property, and especially since they're bringing. It was one thing to do it to Winnie the Pooh and Piglet, but as soon as you bring Owl and Tigger into the mix to turn them into psychopaths, that is when you go too far. That is when you have wanted to try. They didn't do it because they were trying to do something cool. They did it because they were trying to make money. They knew that it was going to get so controversial, making taking probably the most beloved children's properties of all time and turning it into a horror movie. They knew they were going to get money off of it, so they decided to use the controversy as an excuse to get people in the theater. And the fact that they got themselves their own cinematic universe of horror films from Disney properties like Bambi and Peter Pan and a Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 2 and possibly Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 3, and the fact that they've already gotten that done before the film made a dime is so infuriating. Oh, I am so gonna be so unhappy if I have to rewatch that film. Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey, uh, uh, would rather stab myself and then take the knife and then start ripping it across and then just letting myself bleed out and die than have to rewatch that film. You may say you're being dramatic. I am not being dramatic. If you have seen that film, you are like, okay, yeah, this guy's making a fair point. This guy really is being accurate. Blood and Honey is that bad. Film Kid. Sorry, I haven't commented in a while. Just finished up editing my Creed and Rocky ranking. Great, can't wait to see it. So ashamed that you don't have Rocky 1 in first place. Don't think I don't know that you have. Though I'm debating whether Rocky 4 or Creed's gonna be your number 1. I have a feeling my theory is Creed is. Don't tell me this is my guess. I'm hoping it's Creed because if it's between Rocky 4 and Creed, I'm going Creed, but Film Kid, again, did you please tell me you thanked your parents from me for for them saying no to saying Blood and Honey, because I am so happy they did, because that film was absolutely atrocious. I wanted to cry at the end of that film. Why? Because I was so miserable that I had to spend an hour and I think it was like an hour and 20 minutes. It was not long, and it was so bare. It was unbearable. Film Kid, I did. Glad to see. I hope they found that part funny, because and I hope they were also very happy with that part because uh, uh, train wreck of a film. Absolute train wreck. Terrible, terrible special effects, terrible characters, terrible editing. The editing is awful. Everything is terrible about that film. Everything. There's not a single positive I would give it. Even the opening scene is immediately undone, so I don't even like that part about it. And luckily the designs of the Winnie the Pooh and Piglet are absolute. Ugh, they are so bad. Winnie the Pooh kind of looks like Shrek in that one for some reason. It basically just looks. It's basically just like this big hobo, or this big guy in a mask. You can tell it is so terrible. Luckily, or I shouldn't say luckily, they have a much bigger. Actually, no, I will say luckily, because 2023 proved to be a big year for bombing, for movies at the box office. So, luckily, since Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey didn't make too much money. No, it did make money. Since it made money, it's gonna get a bigger budget. The sequel, so that means that luckily, Luckily, that means that what is it? That means that they are not going to be able to. It means that they're more likely to have a film that could bomb, and it better bomb hard because hopefully, if that film bombs hard enough and it makes such little money, because I'm telling you, people were so they absolutely hated that film. I've seen several rankings of the worst movies of 2023. Every dang one, has Blood and Honey in last place, meaning that basically every ranking, meaning that people are probably never going to see that film in theaters, the sequel. So even though it's going to have better effects, probably in the effect and the creature effects look better, and that it looks like it's a much more probably competent made film, and has more like a VFX on it, so the designs look way better. Most likely, the film could bomb hard because they have such a big budget and people hated the original one so much, and I mean they hated it. Everybody, maybe like if they lose like more than like $200 million, they could possibly cancel the idea for a Blood and Honey 3 and possibly even cancel the Peter Pan horror movie and the Bambi horror movie. So if you guys are watching as soon as I get this thing public, make sure everyone, as soon as you hear me say this, do not see Blood and Honey 2 in theaters, and hopefully I'm making it my personal mission to make this film bomb. Some idiots decided to make it their personal mission to make Terminator Dark Fate bomb. So since they decided to take a really great movie and make that bomb, let's make a really terrible movie sequel bomb that's probably already not going to be very good. Film Kid, how much longer are you planning to live stream? Oh no, please don't tell me I caught you at a bad time again. I can do it for like a few more minutes, but I don't want to like if it's like troubling you, I can easily just end it here. But if it's like something that like you're about to need to leave, so I can tell no one else is in the chat besides you, so I can easily just like hang this thing up as soon as you can put in a few more questions if you want, and then we can end it. But I will put this thing public as soon as I can, and then everyone, when you hear me say this, if you actually gave Blood and Honey money, make sure not to see the sequel. And if you actually liked Blood and Honey, you disgust me. I hate that film. Everyone hates the film. It's considered it's one of the lowest rated. No, it's not one of the. It is dramatically low on IMDb. I know it's terrible. Film Kid, necessarily my dad didn't say yes to Deadpool just because he says there's a ton of sex and jokes in it. I mean, the jokes go from really bad to downright vulgar. So the jokes are something that he may need to be aware of. They say a certain part about a woman's body many times in the first one. The second one's pretty tame in terms of what they say in terms of that word, but it's still very. They do still say a lot in the second one, and I will say that scene involving Deadpool having to regrow his legs and him. I will say when he's just like regrowing his legs. That scene is absolutely hilarious. I was on the floor with, not literally, but I was. That scene was hilarious. He's like having to regrow his legs. That was hilarious. Quick little water break. DJ, if you haven't seen my top 20 favorite Christmas movies yet, here it is. It's my newest video I uploaded. Got it. I will make sure to check that out. You may have just released it, so I think we'll go for about like 5 more minutes, then we can end it because I think Film Kid's gonna need to leave. So I think 5 more minutes. So if you have any last questions, anyone, make sure to drop that in the comments, and then drop that in the comments, and then we can take care of it. Film Kid. The only scene I've seen in the original Deadpool is the highway shootout scene, and then Deadpool cut off his hand in the car. I saw that scene before I saw the movie. Although I thought it was hilarious, just the way that he just gets so angry and he just keeps hitting Colossus, and he just keeps breaking every bone that he does. Like he what was the first one he did? The first one was when what is it? Francis escaped. Well, it's Ajax, but Deadpool likes to call him Francis to annoy him. There's a really funny joke in there that you will know when you see about him joking about Francis. It's very late into the film, near its climax, so you'll know when you see it, film kid. You will know. But I think it's hilarious. So he immediately tries to like stop him in the neck. He breaks his hand. He then tries to hit him in the crotch. He then punches Colossus in the crotch. He breaks his other hand. He then and then he uses his foot and makes like a roundhouse or side kick, and then uses his foot to try and try and hurt Colossus, and then he breaks his first foot, and then he just starts annoying Colossus, so he gets smashed into a car, and then he has to like cut off his hand. It is gut burstingly funny. I think it's hilarious. I mean, Deadpool is such a loudmouth. So amazing. I'm kidding. And then I'm pumped because Saturday night I get to watch Oppenheimer. Great. I hope it's in your top 3 of the year. It's definitely in my top 3 of the year. It's a tough fight between Oppenheimer and Guardians 3. At the moment, I'm feeling Oppenheimer, but I would say Guardians 3 is way more rewatchable. But I would say Oppenheimer's a better made film, so I would give the edge to Oppenheimer. Even though I do love both. Believe me, I do. But those are both great films that are very R-rated for some of the same reasons. They can have some. Sorry about that. There can be some swearing in that, but it's mostly because of the fact that there's nudity in both films. Although it's way more prominent in Deadpool. And one scene in particular. Ugh. It's around the scene where Wade has to, or Deadpool, you can call him either, where Wade has to go to that he goes to like a strip club to get Vanessa because she's about to get kidnapped, and strip clubs can be very grown up. So that's all I'll say. DJ, Die Hard and Edward Scissorhands are one of my favorite Christmas movies, but I put them lower on my list for my favorite Christmas movies. Because Die Hard movie I can watch all year round, unlike other Christmas movies. Oh, I can watch Christmas movies all year round. For me, it's just something I can do. I have no idea why. I just can do it. I watched. No, I usually watch Home Alone around the holidays alone. I've never I don't think I've rewatched it too often. I didn't get to rewatch it this year, but that was mostly because I had to keep binging 2023 movies because I was really behind on them. So I'm finishing up a movie called The Family Plan with Mark Wahlberg, and I was like shocked that Mark Wahlberg's a very likable character. And I'm like, is this the same guy that played in Transformers: Age of Extinction and Transformers: The Last Night? The same guy I couldn't stand in either films, especially Age of Extinction. I'm like, wow, this is a guy that I really enjoy. And also him, the chemistry between him and the person that plays his wife is amazing. She also plays Ethan Hunt's wife in Mission Impossible, the Mission Impossible franchise. So she's in that. She's also in Mission Impossible 3. I don't think they recasted her, so I think she's in Ghost Protocol as well, meaning that she is in Fallout. I know that it's the same actor that plays her in. I know that the person that plays her is in Fallout, and I'm pretty sure it's I think it's also 3. So unless they did a recast that I didn't know about in Ghost Protocol, I believe that is the same actress. DJ, you've got to watch Edward Scissorhand ASAP. It's so good. It's my favorite Tim Burton movie. It's my favorite Johnny Depp performance. Oh yeah, I'll watch it soon. It's on my radar. I keep getting flack for not seeing it. My parents, I think, also really were like, "Dude, why have you not watched it? You're a movie fan, but you won't do that." So it is apparently. Okay, so I think we will end the stream here. So that will be it. Thank you everyone for watching. This has been a great live stream. Thank you all so much for this. Make sure to hit that like button if you have not already, and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. I'm at 422 subscribers at the moment. So thank you all so much for this amazing thing, and have a good one.